This one is for the Muse. Part of what I do is I speak to truths that apply to mystics, magical beings. I validate their unique experiences. And today, I'm doing that for the Muse. This is the embodied, radiant woman. Radiance is a rebellion. Women who hold and own and don't misutilize their feminine power and radiance to be consumed, which women are taught to do. This is for the woman that holds her radiance and embodied wholeness. So I'm going to speak to her unique experiences. And in this, we also can see and identify differences between the wounded feminine, also faux priestess, and the true feminine, true priestess. Women's radiance in this world is a rebellion because she is taught to be meek, to be silent, to diminish herself, to erase herself, to accommodate others. She is taught not to be a disruption, but she is the very thing that is meant to be here to disturb an old paradigm. She is the leading force. So a woman of embodied radiance, she's one who is source connected. She is connected to her womb. She is connected to the original source of the mother. She is devotional to the goddess because she is here to embody love and life. Now, what happens is because she is here to embody such high concentrations of original essence of love and also life and light, she becomes an ultimate source. She is the highest currency. She has access to the highest currency. And so because this is something that we are infrequently validating, we're using other things as a substitute to misplace value. For example, to say your value is in the quantity of the followers that you have. The value is in the quantity of money that you have. And not be validating embodied consciousness, not to validate the value of a woman who is emanating divine power, the divine and original current of all of life, who is a birther. There's all these misdirections that seek to diminish her, but also seek to feed from her. So a woman who is embodying her radiance is one who is holding, literally holding, okay? Holding that original source. She becomes like a royal table that has a feast on it. She is a full woman. But she is also an altar. You should arrive to pour into her. When you pour into her is when there's a sacred figure 8, where you actually really receive through creational foundations the most that can arrive through her in contribution to you and contribution to all of life. Now, what most people do is they arrive to her in dishonor. They might initially arrive to her in awe. Ooh, what is this? Right? Any muse, any woman that is really embodying that original source, she steps into rooms and she is felt. Heads turn to look at her. Because whether people know it or not, her energy is both full, it's palpable, and it's magnetic. Now, this means that she draws attention to her. And drawing attention to her, if we were existing among high consciousness and sacred awareness, she would be honored as the altar. She would have people arriving to her with gifting, acknowledging her and what it is that she is, what it is that moves through her. The courage that it takes for her to be that thing. The level of embodiment that she must be devotional to in order to truly occupy that. But oftentimes what happens is attention draws to her. There's a, oh, awe. And then that awe turns into resentment, jealousy, desires that are non-congruent with honoring her. I want to own her. I want to consume her. I want to overpower her. I want to utilize the source that she is to take that juiciness and I want to feed from her. I want to take the current of the goddess that lives through her and I want to misuse it to misdirect it to an old paradigm. I want to feed the famine of soullessness, of disconnection through being near her. I must arrive to her knowing that she holds particular desires because of her composition. And I must utilize that against her to deceive her, to pretend that I am arriving with giving and gifting and honor and seeing so that I can manipulate her, so I can get access to that source, so I can enter through temple doors. The muse is also a priestess that is hunted. She is hunted. So she may walk around in the world and enter doors and audiences, their heads turn. And there may be people who are jealous of her for that. Those that don't like that attention moves toward her. And they also are not willing to acknowledge that attention, especially given the distortions that we are collectively existing in, can also be an ongoing detriment to her that impacts her well-being as she walks courageously inside of this world, not forgoing her radiance and instead of holding onto it despite all obstacles. That is a powerful, powerful woman. I talk about masculine responsibility. I talk about feminine responsibility. When you are in divine right alignment, why would holding and having access to such a powerful creational center such as the womb and being a woman who is so close to the source not be or come with responsibility. Of course it does. So there are people, there are women that misuse their creational center. They misuse sexual energy that has taught her how to obtain not true power, but false power. Prostitution. There are women that are prostituting the feminine essence to climb the old paradigm patriarchal matrix ladder. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and allow myself to be compromised in exchange for this. This thing that I'm talking about right now differentiates the false feminine in a faux priestess to the true feminine in a true priestess. I am high priestess. And I say this, that high priestess is like the captain of a ship, except her ship is a temple. When temple goes down, which it has many times, including many falls, high priestess goes down with the temple because she is going to commit all the way through the fall and back into divine right alignment that is restoration for the entire planet. That takes a certain kind of soul. That takes a certain kind of woman. There's warriorship in it. There are those of us that fell and we held on to the covenant. We held on to the sacred coding. We held on to the templates, the books and the sacred items that they destroyed. We code collected. We, as a feminine body being, magnetized all the coding into our containers, our energetic bodies, and we held them there knowing that we were the sacred keepers. And as such, we're also the sacred keepers of the divine right source, of the current of the goddess. We won't sell it short. So there are women who prod around as though they are priestess. They are the true feminine. For a woman like me, I'm like, ick, 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 sticky, gross, not aligned, out of congruency, prostitution. I can see the coding. Oh, I can see how that arrived through a prior lifetime where you betrayed Temple. You didn't hold Temple down. You didn't remain in integrity. You made compromises that destroyed life. And if you made compromises that destroyed life and the true feminine essence is life-giving, you betrayed the feminine essence. And you continue to betray the feminine essence by doing things like that are sticky, icky in the background energetically. You are showing your body for a sense of false power, to gain money, to be next to a patriarchal man who has climbed that ladder so that you can financially benefit and also your social status. What is there to be proud about when the ladder that you are climbing is based on death and destruction, that is based on misalignment? There is a selling of source, a selling of soul. So what happens? It turns into inorganic material, it turns into plastics and implants in the body. It is persona, not soul. It is stagnation, not evolution. It is suppressed, not expressed. It is false power, not true power. Now, when I make certain posts online, I say this, you need to read my content, understanding that I am speaking into 4 quadrants, not 2. The true masculine, the wounded masculine, the true feminine, the wounded feminine. And there are posts that I make as a representative of the true feminine more frequently. That's a place I'm coming from, right? So I'm speaking through the voice of the true feminine. And there are people that rage against it and then try to project the wounded and false feminine onto what I am saying. If you cannot tell the difference between the true feminine and the false feminine and the true masculine and the false masculine, you are among the distortion and the conditioning. You do not have the eyes to see. You have veils. This is also why I teach and speak to the true masculine and true feminine and the false versions of each of those extensively, so you can see, so we can see. So that, for example, the people that are in power positions, which are really false power positions, no longer occupy those positions, because we're not confusing boyhood with manhood, the damsel with the true feminine. We are realigning with what is actually value and valuable. We can see the difference between an egoic persona and true leadership. We can see between faux spirituality and embodied consciousness. This is also why I'm always speaking through a lens of contrast, which also can get people pretty upset sometimes, because it illuminates. When we have it all in the room, we can all see what's going on. I hope that you are enjoying this newsletter teaching transmission. This is a moment of promotion. I have an upcoming event, April 4th, 2025, that I would love to invite you to. This is an immersive, which I'm offering to the public. So you don't have to be a part of my membership group in order to attend. It's going to be a 2 to 3 hour experience. And those of you who have attended my immersives, you know how absolutely life-changing they can be. This immersive is on recentering the feminine. This is going to be a deep, deep, deep teaching transmission with energetic and otherwise attunements, as well as a Q&A session. The link is underneath this video. It's also inside of my bio. I would love to see you there. So the true feminine, the muse, because we are in a consumptive society, which is a patriarchal matrix, it's not based on all of life. It's not based on a sacred figure 8. It is not divine reciprocity. It is not what we experience when we go into nature and we can feel the giving and the receiving from the environment to us and back. Because it is consumptive, and just like we see with Gaia, she is a true divine feminine embodied in a planetary system. We are living here amongst her. And what do we see happening to her? She's getting trashed. She's getting destroyed. There's irreverence all over the dang place. She is being misappropriated. She is being pillaged. And we normalize it. We act like there's no other option. Those are the options. So those imprints live inside of people. They live inside of people's bodies. And in a patriarchal matrix, the wounded masculine is the top of the pyramid. And the true feminine, she's just erased. She doesn't get to exist here. So what happens is the false feminine, she gets to be a part of that patriarchal matrix because she centers the wounded feminine. She centers the misalignment. She enables it and engages it. She feeds it through her womb, through misusing her feminine power and not holding ownership to the true divine responsibility that she is here for. So when a woman such as myself, when the muse, when a radiant woman walks into the room, immediately The false feminine engages in war with her through the unseen and subtle realms. It is happening all of the time. Now, in this patriarchal matrix, we're also missing the masculine. We're missing the true masculine. His absence affects all of life. So where we have a woman such as myself, when we have the true feminine step into the room, and then her radiance becomes the muse, and the attention is gained from the false feminine who then seeks to attack the true feminine, you don't get to exist here. We have to diminish you. I have to overpower you. I have to pretend to be you, which I cannot occupy in an embodied way. I need to seek to even befriend you so that I can be closer to my enemy, so that I can set the stage for some form of manipulation, so that I can switch the script in my own mind to believe I'm more powerful than you because I got you. While the feminine is doing that, and we have this epidemic of the missing masculine, there aren't guardians to the true feminine. So men oftentimes will sit at a table and these dynamics will be happening. And they won't even know that it's happening. They won't see it. And oftentimes what will happen is they will side by the faux feminine, the false feminine, the wounded feminine, because that is what those patriarchal imprints has taught him to do. It is the same thing as protecting the patriarchal matrix, because the wounded feminine sources the divine, the current of the goddess, the little bits that she can get. She can't get what a radiant woman gets. She doesn't get the waterfall. She gets the tap, but she has access because she was given a womb. And then she sources it to the wounded masculine, to the patriarchal matrix. A woman such as myself, the true feminine, collapses all of that. And that really triggers a lot of people. It'll collapse it in every single pocket inside of your bodies, not just your physical body, but your energetic, your mental, emotional, all of your bodies when you near her. So this is where all turns into resentment, jealousy, weaponization. And so the feminine has the jealousy part, right? And the playing in the subtle realms with the true feminine, attempting to. And then the wounded masculine, he's like, ooh, I am starved. I've been drinking from this tap, this little sink. And you are a waterfall. You are the ocean. I want to consume you. Oh, you can't be more powerful than me because in this patriarchal hierarchy, I must always be more powerful than you. I must own you to have the false power over top of you. I must find ways to control you. I must diminish you. I must erase you. I must treat you as you're invisible, or if I see you, it is only to gain false power and consume you. These are the things that the muse deals with ongoingly. If you are a high caliber woman, if you are a woman who has had priestess lifetimes, you hold sacred coding, if you are a woman whose womb is palpable, it's pulsating, if you are a radiant woman, if you are the muse, these are dynamics that you deal with all of the time, which most people are not going to validate for you. They'll be willing to be like, oh, wow, people really respond to you. They may initially be reflecting to you your radiant essence through these all moments. But actually standing side by side you, is not for the faint of heart. It is not for those who would misuse the current of the goddess. It is for those who seek absolute love and truth. It is for those who are willing to be initiated and to walk those initiations into their life, into embodiment, into completion. It is for those who are willing to do the somatic nervous system, bodily, also etheric, energetic, emotional, mental work that is necessitated to be able to stand side by side you, who have the capacity to truly receive you, the wisdom that you hold, the sacred coding that you are, that are men that can receive and also land anchor through digestion. The type of people that don't compete for power, whose all doesn't turn into later on attacking, weaponizing against you. Your radiance is a rebellion. Your radiance is a courageous act. Your radiance is something that you can only surrender to. You cannot surrender it. As in, when you are a woman who is holding, I'm speaking for myself here as an example, because I do represent the true feminine, a divine womb. When you have access to the original hum of all of creation and it is pulsating through you, there are people who will arrive with the intention to consume. There are a lot of unconscious, subconscious, sometimes intentional and conscious ways that people will arrive to you in order to feed from, feast from, consume, control, manipulate, etc., want to bring war to your temple doors. But because you are so committed and you are meant to be that true feminine representation, that illumination of divine source connection. Just like I said, you go down with temple. You will not let go of your radiance, because your radiance is in direct relationship with your source connection. And so despite all of these obstacles, you continue to show up as a radiant rebellion. And I want you to truly understand, to see your power, the power in that, the courage that it takes, the commitment, the devotion, the surrender that you do into your own radiance, into your divine commitments, where again, you don't surrender truth, you don't surrender love, you don't make compromises because you're not meant to. The people around you are meant to calibrate to you, not you calibrating to the distortion. And this disrupts many. I know that you are familiar with these patterns. I know that you understand betrayal. I know how scary it can be for so much attention to draw to you. even when it's complimentary. I know the multitude of misdirections and manipulations that seek their way inside of closeness with you. I know what it is to protect the covenant. I know what it is to speak truth into spaces where no one sees around you. I know what it is to commit to truth and love at its core, regardless of what anyone thinks about you. I know what it is to sacrifice relationships, including with people that you love so much, but that cannot truly honor, love, meet you, that are not there to protect you. I know what it is to have people that surround you be infiltrated themselves in order to attempt to gain access to you. Radiance is not easy. It's not something that we seek to gain so that we can manipulate the external reality around us to, again, step up the old paradigm ladder. This is a misuse of feminine power. Your radiance initiates you. Your radiance is a commitment to original source, to hold it inside of collective fields of distortion despite all things. You are courageous. You are loving to your core. You deserve divine protection in all forms, to include that which exists on ground and in human bodies to surround you. You deserve more than you have received. You are the true hope for humanity. You deserve many apologies. We have had to learn how to protect ourselves because it was necessary. And there are fewer spaces to truly open because of the amount of collective distortion, which is why we pursue things like nature, where we can fully emanate all that we are out into this world. So though many their all may move toward you, there might be a lot of attention on you, I know, because I live it, that radiance often comes with a lot of isolation when you are upholding it in true responsibility and integrity. The pain that people don't see within you, I know it. I live it. I'm here to validate it. Like, if you are starting to feel tears, I am. Feel it. Let it pour. Because this kind of grief that the muse experiences is ongoing. It just cycles over and over again through multitudes of experiences that happen ongoingly. And so if you can, in this moment, in this transmission, just like let some of that go, I've accomplished what I've shown up for today. There are healing energetics. There's more than my words that are in this space for you to receive. And I'm speaking that so that you get to have it, so that you get to benefit from it, so you get to be held by it. So if you're receptive to receiving the medicine, I invite you to take this time and this moment to slow and to safely open and to receive what's here for you, that truly can see you, that truly can love into you, that really is here with complete pure intention to provide to you. It may take some time for your body and bodies energetically and otherwise, all the way to the physical level, to receive what is here for you. So pay attention, drink lots of water, open up to the experience and what that might be for you, to include release and letting go. And if or when the moment arises, if it's not now for release, just let it roll, because you deserve it. This is an invitation for more space in your body through validation and healing medicine that I can provide to you, because I know you. I am the true feminine. I am that thing. I hope that this transmission has been supportive to you. If there are women in your life where you're listening to this transmission and you think of them fondly, please send it to them. Share this with them. Those are my women. And I want them to be near, to be able to receive the medicine. Speak praises over my name, share my social media. If you are feeling called, definitely look into my one-on-one work. Super rare to find. Find clean facilitation, truly made of integrity, genuine embodied wisdom in the room with you that can see you and meet you in oftentimes places that you have never been met before. And no matter where you are along that journey, including if you're really high caliber, high level, high initiation, I can meet you. That's a guarantee. As always, so much love to each and every one of you.